And we're going to move on now and take a look at our next element, which is proclaiming Jesus' mighty deeds. You know, when you're promoting or selling a product, you want to answer one very simple question. What is this going to do for me? Well, that's most effectively done by having someone offer some personal testimony, such as you see in this book I'm showing here. I stopped smoking, and you can too. Become a non-smoker today. The bottom line is, people need to know that there's a promise of results, and those results need to be visible, and they need to be credible. That's really the next step in proclaiming the gospel. We have to be able to say what Jesus has done for me. That's really the magic behind the wonderful, enduring message of the song Amazing Grace. You know, in that song, the author wrote, I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. He didn't write that someone was once lost and is found, or someone was blind, but I. It's personal. The message is very clear. Jesus did this for others. He's done it for me, and he can do it for you. So the essence of this step, proclaiming Jesus' mighty deeds, is giving personal testimony. And we need to be credible witnesses, telling others what Jesus has accomplished in our lives. And just what is it that Jesus does for people? Well, the Gospels make it very clear that Jesus heals and restores. He provides abundance where there is scarcity. He shows power over nature. And he raises the dead. You and I have to be able to talk about how Jesus has healed us, how he's restored our sight and helped us to get up and move again after being paralyzed with fear or despair, how he's provided abundance for us in the midst of scarcity, and how he has calmed the storms of our lives, and how he has called us forth from the tomb of sin and brought us back to life. During Lent, we take time to reflect on what Jesus has done for us, what he is doing for us, and what we need him to do for us. So with that in mind, another quick return to a poll question. I'd like you to be able to express what best describes what Jesus does for you. And start to think about how you can express this to people that you encounter, and especially if you're a catechist or teacher, to those that you teach as part of your personal witness. So back to you, Nick, to explain this poll question.
All right, thank you, Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, the poll question box is open again. This time the question is, which best describes what Jesus does for you? Please select A if he opens your eyes, B if he frees you from being paralyzed. Please select C if he opens your ears, D if he restores you to life. Please answer E if he calms the storms of your life. And finally, answer F if he provides abundance where there is scarcity.
Okay, thank you, Nick. And we'll be back to Nick in just a few seconds with those results. It's very possible that you might want to say Jesus does all of these. I maybe should have had another selection on there. But I'm just asking you to maybe, nail it down to what you're experiencing the most at this time in your life. And also, as we await for those results to come in, I once again encourage you to find ways, especially if you're a catechist, to talk about what Jesus has done for you in your life. The kids and teens and youth and other adults are very impressed and inspired when they hear you say something about how Jesus has opened your eyes, or how Jesus healed you from the paralysis of fear that you had, or how he opened your ears to hear something. That's very personal, and sometimes we forget to use that language. But you just used that language in the poll, and so I'm going to turn it back to Nick, and he's going to tell us what we heard from you. Nick?
All right. Our biggest answer tonight was E, that he calms the storms of my life, with 44%. That was followed by he restores me to life and then he opens my eyes. But all of our answers received at least a few votes tonight, Joe.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you, everyone, for sharing your answers. I'm not surprised that he calms the storms of our lives. I think that so many of us experience stress and anxiety in so many ways, and so it's such a powerful image of Jesus calming the storm and Jesus being able to walk on the water, to be above that storm as well. And just a great image for us in our lives to pray on and to be able to talk to others about. When was the last time you told someone that Jesus calms the storms of your life? I think that's just a powerful thing for us to be able to do.